Hello. So there's just two possibilities. Either you rest as God, you recognize yourself as God, which is all there ever is because there's only God, or there's God role-playing a human being, role-playing a human character, which it's not separate from God. Because again, there's only just two possibilities. Either God resting as God in the recognition of God, in the recognition that the separation is just an illusion and everything is this single source of God, this faceless, formless godness, ism, I am, awareness, whatever you want to call it, whatever name resonates with you is the right name. Or there's awareness, God, role-playing with a human being, role-playing with being a separate self, a human character, a human being. Why do we use the word character? Why do we use the word role-playing? Why do we use the human character, the human role, instead of just saying human being or being a human? The main reason is so that the word is really nuanced, so that it doesn't differentiate separation. So a character is still God. So that's why it's God role-playing a human character, role-playing a separate human that is at the mercy of circumstances and things can happen to them. And that's not what's happening here. What's happening here is God surprising itself or pretending to be surprised by things that have been created by God itself. And it's just performing. It's performing this role of a human character. It's performing this role of a human being. It is being a human and being entertained by the role play of a human, when truthfully being I amness, I am God, is all there is all there ever is. So there's just these two possibilities. Either God role-playing with a human character, which is all fine and good. That's the main reason why God yourself, your true form, has given yourself this experience to role-play with different characters and experience things from this limited perspective and from this point of view and experience it from there. Or there's this very well resting and recognition, and that's why you're listening to this YouTube video now. It is because God is now giving itself the experience of waking up. It's giving itself the experience of recognizing itself as God. But again, there's no recognizing of who you've always been as God. So just like yourself in this human form, you would never have to recognize yourself as, if you ever were to wear a costume or a cat mask, you wouldn't have to recognize yourself that, I'm not a cat, I'm a human being. It's the very same thing. It's God doesn't need to recognize himself and be like, wait, I'm not this human being and this limited self. Thank God I've realized that. I'm God. No, that's not what's happening. God has always known that they were role-playing this human. And for the fun, for the entertainment, for the experience, for the joy, for the dream, make it for the plot, literally, for just the plot. So there's just two possibilities. Either resting in God, that is transcends all and every character and is the I amness and the everything in which everything is appearing, the awareness in which all of these different forms and shapes are appearing, or role-playing, performing this human being and performing this separate self and performing this separate human where there's other humans and there's a world where things are happening and there's a world where there's food that I need to eat and there's time and things age or don't age, whatever source has decided for themselves to be the experience that they want that human character to play in that role. All right? It's just a role. And while the image might not be the best image because it implies that there's separation. I've been using this image to define this whole idea that there's this one singular substance, this one singular source that is made of everything. So I use for this image play-doh. It is a world where everything and anything is play-doh. It is a world where, and that play-doh, that sometimes they refer it as clay, whatever it is, or water or source or light, whatever that source substance that you want to use to visualize this is, there's a world where everything is play-doh. Everything, absolutely everything. The tangible and the intangible. And the intangible includes frequencies, sensations, thoughts, whatever it is. But in essence, everything is just awareness. Everything is just God. Everything is just this singular source of which everything is made, and there's no separation because there's only one source. There's nothing else than this source. There's no other thing in this. There isn't play-doh and water. There isn't play-doh and light. No, it's a world where everything is play-doh, and the tangible and the intangible is play-doh, and you're the play-doh. You're that source that forms different figurines of play-doh. Some of them being human beings, others being buildings, others being the illusion of time, other being the concepts of love, other being concepts like frequencies, nervous systems, whatever it is, the tangible and intangible, but it is all appearances, forms of the same play-doh source, which is you. You're all of that source. You're the singular source. And that's what's happening from the perspective of one of these little figurines, not separate from source. It creates this illusion, this illusionary separation. Oh, there's another figurine there that is there and has free will and has thoughts, just like my little figurine that has free will and thoughts. No, that's not what's going on here. There's no single figurine, there's no single human being, there's no single thing in this reality that is you, that is appearing inside of your true form as God, that has free will, because it's all appearing and appearances of you as God, as source, as your true self. So what does that mean for your human being? It doesn't mean anything, in essence, because the human being doesn't exist. So it is just God, source, God role-playing a human being, or where it creates an illusion of a human being and creates an illusion of a world and creates an illusion of this dream that we're in, and it is just an illusion. It doesn't exist, or it exists or doesn't exist just as much as everything else in this dream. In fact, the only thing that is true and that is really existing is existence itself. It is awareness. It is God. It is life. That's the only thing that exists and that is true. And that life breathes life into different forms of itself. Whatever metaphor works for you is the right metaphor. Do not get caught up in the words, but also get caught up in the words if they help you at the same time. Like, there's nothing here to understand because there's no one to understand. There's no one to know because the knowing precedes the someone. The knowing, the being precedes the someone. The being knows it all, has it all, is everything. Again, in a world where everything is play-doh and you're the play-doh, every single possibility, every single desire, every single experience is contained within you and appears inside of what you are, this play-doh, moldable and completely fixable and completely fluid and flowing and whatever the opposite of fixed is. All right. Hope this helps. Let me know if you have questions. Love you so much.